Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. There's a buzz going around the NFC North that could seriously shake up the landscape, and it involves one of the most talented wide receivers in the league, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, before you get your hopes up or start imagining the Packers pulling off some blockbuster trade, let's unpack what's going on behind the scenes and what it could mean for Green Bay fans. You see, sources suggest that the Detroit Lions, currently sitting at an impressive 9-2, are contemplating a bold move that might be a game-changer not just for them, but for the entire division. The Lions have a cap space of around $10 million, and they're looking at their options. One of the rumors floating around is that Detroit might be willing to trade Amon-Ra St. Brown to the Packers in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2026 draft. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Why would the Lions let go of such a crucial piece of their offense? Well, the answer is all about cap management and strategic priorities. Detroit's front office is heavily invested in extending Jared Goff's contract, which means they're trying to free up some cap space to address other areas, namely their edge rush and cornerback positions. The Lions are also deep in their youth movement, especially in the secondary, with promising young defensive backs that they want to develop. But losing St. Brown, who's been a true route technician and YAC machine, would certainly sting. Still, it's a move that makes sense if they're aiming to keep their roster balanced and competitive long-term. Now let's talk about what Amon-Ra St. Brown brings to the table. Drafted in 2021, this guy isn't just a typical receiver. He's a route artisan, a guy who lives and breathes precision, creating separation with his sharp cuts and uncanny ability to find soft spots in zones. Over his 5-year career, he's accumulated 450 receptions, over 200 receiving yards, and 35 touchdowns. His average yards per catch sit at around 11.6, and he's been an incredibly reliable target. PFF scores consistently in the high 80s, with a career YAC of 5 yards per reception. His EPA per target is around 0.19, meaning he consistently creates value after the catch and in contested situations. In 2025, he's been healthy, playing all 11 games so far, with 68 catches on 92 targets for nearly 780 yards and 6 touchdowns, averaging over 70 yards per game. That's the kind of production that transforms an offense. And speaking of his impact, imagine the Packers acquiring someone like St. Brown to complement Christian Watson and the emerging Jordan Reed. His route running would give Green Bay a much-needed boost in short to intermediate routes, especially considering how he cuts through the secondary like a surgeon. His ability to rack up YAC, yards after catch, would open up so many possibilities for Jordan Love, easing the pressure he faces and giving him a reliable target in clutch moments. His presence would also help the Packers stretch the field, especially on third downs, where he's shown to be a master at creating separation and winning contested catches. His addition could be akin to what Stefon Diggs brought to the Bills back in 2020, a game-changer that elevates the entire offensive scheme. Now, why would the Lions even consider moving St. Brown? Well, it's mainly about roster construction and cap flexibility. The Lions have a lot of young talent in their secondary, with promising cornerbacks and safeties, but they're also aware that their passing attack is more potent when Goff has more assets around him. Losing a second-year receiver like St. Brown would be a tough pill to swallow, but it could be a strategic move to balance out their roster and focus on locking down their core pieces for the future. Still, the impact on their offense would be significant, losing a player who averages over 11 yards per catch and is a key piece in their passing game, especially considering how he's been a reliable chain mover and a YAC monster. So what does this mean for the Green Bay Packers? Well, if this trade actually happens, it could be a huge boon for the Packers' offense. St. Brown's ability to line up in the slot and dominate in the short and intermediate routes would give Jordan Love a serious upgrade in his receiving core. His route-running precision and yards-after-catch ability could help create mismatches against defenses, especially as Love looks to develop chemistry with his receivers. With St. Brown in the fold, the Packers could see a jump in their offensive efficiency, possibly adding around 1 100 yards to their total receiving yards, up from the current 800, and perhaps 9 more touchdowns, making the passing game much more explosive. Imagine the mental matchup that would create for defenses. St. Brown's route mastery and contested catch skills would give Green Bay a reliable target in the red zone, helping to improve their red zone efficiency, which has been hovering around 58%. With him stretching the field and creating space, Love could see a plus 19% increase in red zone conversions, turning more drives into touchdowns rather than field goals. Defenses would have to game plan differently, knowing that Packers' offense could now execute short, quick passes that turn into big gains, especially with St. Brown's ability to fight for contested catches and rack up yards after the catch. From a broader perspective, this move could push Green Bay into a different echelon. An addition like St. Brown would not only boost their current season, but would also give them a foundation to build a passing attack that could challenge the NFC's best teams, possibly even making a deep playoff run more likely. The odds for the Packers to reach Super Bowl LXI could shift significantly, from around plus 900 to plus 450, similar to how the Dolphins gained a major boost after acquiring Tyreek Hill. It's a game changer, a move that could elevate the Packers' offense to new heights and solidify their status as contenders. Looking ahead, it's clear that Amon-Ra St. Brown has the potential to be a pivotal piece for any team aiming for a Super Bowl run. His route running, YAC ability, and consistency make him a unique weapon. If the Packers manage to pull off this trade, it could mark the beginning of a new era, one where their passing game becomes more dynamic, more unpredictable, and more dangerous. For Green Bay fans, it's an exciting thought, a vision of what could be, especially considering how much this team has been building and evolving. The Packers have always been about resilience, strategic moves, and finding ways to maximize their talent. So if this trade materializes, it might just be the spark that ignites their championship quest. And let's not forget, in the NFL, timing is everything. The right move at the right moment can redefine a franchise's future. If the Packers can bring in someone like St. Brown, they're not just adding a receiver, they're adding a piece that can change the entire offensive identity. The division rivals might be looking nervously at this potential move, knowing that Green Bay is always capable of strategic surprises. With Jordan Love developing and a weapon like St. Brown potentially joining the fold, the Packers could be positioning themselves for a serious playoff push, maybe even returning to their Super Bowl-winning ways. It's all about the possibilities, the future, and the relentless pursuit of excellence that defines the Green Bay Packers. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now I want to hear from you, Packers fans. What's your take on all this? Do you think a move like trading for Amon-Ra St. Brown could be the spark the Packers need to finally break through and challenge for another Super Bowl? Or do you believe the Lions are making a mistake by letting him go? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion truly matters, not just to us, but to the future of the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more analysis, and more of what you love about your favorite team. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, go Pack Go.